Hello survivors, and welcome to another video. In today's video we are going to be playing Ragnarok with Amaranth. What I've done is we've reworked a bit of our tree so that we're using less leaves so that we can kind of get a feel of what you need to get to kind of beat Ragnarok V on her. I'm limiting myself because not everyone is as far as I am in the game, and a lot of people do want to play on Ragnarok to test themselves. So this is my build. We've got nice start, experience and XP attraction, as well as minimap 2 and 3 maxed out. Those are the most important things in your exploration tree. Structures, if you have more than 363 leaves, then go for the altars just so you can get the shrine reset, so your ascension shrine is reset, which is fantastic to grab. But otherwise focus on combat with the damage, cooldown, movement speed, and then looking for boss damage as well as limit break and +1 to summons. So that's our tree. Let's get straight into it. We're going to be playing on let's do again, it's Ragnarok, so we don't have anything. We'll just do it on Midgard 5, and let's get straight into it. So first things first, because we've got the nice start, we are going to be focusing on 2 of all of the summons. So we are going to land up getting Flower Pendant for more movement speed, as well as the Emerald Bracelet for green hearts. She works really well off of green hearts. So we want to look for Ivy. You want damage, cooldown and area, and if you can get summons, that's also fantastic. Duration's not as important because I mean, it's important, but it's not as important. But because we are playing Ragnarok as well, we kind of need to focus on the damage more than anything else. I don't want to spend too many rerolls, but if we do have duration up on the leaves, as you can see, we can kind of use them to get the creatures to run into them. But when playing Ragnarok, we do want to move towards the Ascension Crystal as quickly as possible so that we can ascend our weapon as quickly as possible. We will be ascending our Ivy, and then we will be taking again either Skog or the flowers. It doesn't really matter, both are extremely strong. It's a personal preference. There is no right or wrong way. All of her things except for the Lignong are very strong, so you can grab either any of them that you want, but your main focus needs to be in the beginning on Ivy. Ivy is going to help you survive a lot because you can cart enemies into the flowers, and that's going to help you with your survival within the game. And also, if you do get hit in the beginning, it's not really too much of a problem. We are going to grab ourselves our Emerald Bracelet in the beginning. It does give us that little bit of extra heart in the beginning. We're going to grab ourselves the Flower Pendant for the extra movement speed and move on to our Ivy again. So damage wise, our damage isn't looking too great over there, but we do like that we got the summons and the area of effect as legendaries, so we'll be happy with that. At least we did get a damage roll on our thing there. Killed the elite already, so that's fantastic. Go grab all the XP. What's really nice about Amaranth is she gathers the XP all around her. It's a bit somewhat I don't know what the word is here. Sometimes it works really well at collecting XP, but sometimes it doesn't collect the XP, so I'm not 100% sure how it works correctly. We haven't had time to ask the devs because it has been the weekend and they have been away. Obviously they do need a break, so that does make sense. But we're going to take a look at it. We've got some questions to ask, and because we have picked up fire or burning relics over here, it does make sense for us to look at grabbing ourselves chili, which is one of the summons. It is on this left side over here, so it will be a useful one to grab. So that's what we're going to do. So we are looking at either going for growth or transfiguration. We did get the fire one, but I think it might be better to go straight for chili and get that. But I do want to grab the XP bonus over here first. That's going to help us level up faster. And then we're also going to grab the summoning stone for the extra damage to summons. Now, if you are very wealthy and you manage to get a lot of gold during your runs and you get Thara or even Revna from Thara or even Glitch from the actual shop, then you can actually take those because they are both summons and they are going to get the increased damage from your summoning stone. Now, this isn't a a way of doing this in terms of speed running. If you wanted to speed run, there are different ways of doing this, but the more important thing is to just beat Ragnarok in totality, and we can do that slowly but surely using the correct manners. But again, focus on the RV, go for Chili next just based on what relic we got in the start. So that's why we do Chili. But you can see there is a little bit of a slight issue with Chili where it does skip some of the enemies. I do believe that's just because of the targeting. It goes for a certain enemy, so it will run past other enemies along the way. That's not really much of an issue. Also, we don't go into the growth tree with her, and the reason for that is because we are not actually going to be getting any of the red hearts or blue hearts. We want as many green hearts on Amaranth as possible. That's just going to help her with everything in her kit. And another thing with her as well is if you can grab yourself the green crystal, it is one of the most important upgrades that she can get. Now we've got attack speed here. I don't think attack speed is that useful. It is very low already, so we are going to reroll until we get damage on something else. This damage on summons is perfect. That's going to help us quite a lot. And again, we can just sort of stay. I do want to try and get this relic, so we need to kind of stay near our flowers. That's going to hurt everything. Duration again can be very important to keep the flowers up so you can kind of sit inside them for longer, but otherwise you're looking more for the area of effect as well as cooldown. And we're gonna hope and pray that we get the green crystal relic, because that is one of the best relics to grab on her, because that revolves around getting more hearts, green hearts. The more green hearts you have, the more cooldown you have with her. So that's the whole point of the green crystal, and it's just very, very strong. Alright, so again, just carting things into our bushes, into RV's damaging fields, and that's going to help us kill things and to survive. So especially when you have so few what's the words I'm looking for, especially since you have so few things in your tree, especially like the way that we've done it. This is just the ways to survive and to make sure that you are able to get through it as quickly as possible, or as successfully as possible. So we actually got a decent amount of gold so far. It is going to just get more and more. We don't want, or we don't need that. I mean, it's pretty decent to get the ragdoll relic, but not for gold. We might be able to get better relics inside the store. So we're going to take a look at that. We're going to go run to get some gold over here off of the floor. And we can start moving up towards the kill shrine at the top over here and look at getting some of this. And that's the perfect relic inside of the kill shrine for free for us. So that is fantastic. Another beautiful thing is that we don't have to really move much because of the way that our abilities work. So we can just stand still and everything will die within range as well, which is fantastic. So we don't have to worry too much about killing things too far away from that as well. Oops, we got hit there. I wasn't paying attention to my screen there, unfortunately. But again, we're just waiting for the 20 kills. And if you do get hit once or twice within the within 40 seconds, and you lose a bit of a heart, it just counts as more extra damage, extra levels for you anyway, so it's really not the end of the world. But there's our green crystal. Beautiful RNG for us. Obviously this isn't going to be the same for everyone. Your RNG isn't going to be as lucky, or as you know, maybe you could get different relics. But if you get poison relics as a thing from all of the shrines, then you would land up going for Skog. And we got burning, so we went for chili. It just made sense. We're going to grab ourselves some more burning damage. We're going to grab ourselves the damage over here, and then we're going to start looking at getting some of our ultimate going, because as soon as we fight to that final boss of the round, or of the waves, then we're going to look at you know, it's just going to help us kill the scavenger rat a lot faster if we have our ultimate up sooner. So we'll take a look at getting that, even if it is just the first 2 levels or so into it. It doesn't have to be the whole round, or all 3 levels into the ultimate, but you know, the more the merrier. If we can get that many into it, it will be better for us. Okay, kill the elites. Again, we can just cart them through our leaves. That's going to help us deal more damage to them and quicker. But chili does deal a decent amount of damage, as you can see. So we don't really have to worry too much about damage. A little bit later we will have the next. We can go either pea shooter or we can go for Skog. It just depends on what relics are available to us. If we don't find any that give us damage, then like poison damage, then there's no reason to go for Skog. We could then go for our pea shooters, or pea sprouts, sorry, and work on that from there. So we used our ulti. It wasn't really too grand because it's only level 1 so far, but that's okay. Oops, we did walk into some enemies over there, but it doesn't look like they hurt us, which is interesting. And we've got our boss already on their first upset. His first rage meter has been encountered, which isn't fantastic for us, but there we go. Done and dusted with the first boss. Again, we are making this a little bit harder for ourselves, just because I know a lot of players don't have all the leaves like we do. So we're going to grab that. We don't have enough for the Vulcanite goblet. That would have been really nice to have had, but unfortunately we couldn't get it. We've got some poison damage over here, which is fantastic. We do... Is this a summon? Summons owls that orbit you. They are a summon, but we don't have enough money, unfortunately. So that's a very interesting one. We did get 2 poison relics, so that means we are going to grab Skog, and I did have 4 gold left, so we couldn't even afford that heart potion, unfortunately. We do have another ascension, so do we want to grab this? Yes, we do. We are going to grab that, and we're now going to be going for our Skog. We're not going to worry too much about our ultimate. Skog will be more important over here, and we're going to re-roll just to get the most amount of damage possible out of it. As long as it rolls on damage, we're not too worried about whether it's rare, blue, or rare, uncommon, or whatever the case may be. We are just looking at rolling for damage to get the most out of it as possible. And if we had a little bit more money there, getting ourselves those upgrades like the owls as well as that blue potion would have been amazing. Alright, so now we can just I think we need to just move a bit to the side over there, just so that we can start getting more souls. Just wait a little bit on the side over here. Again, we are trying to see if we can get the devs to change the shrine, either that everything we kill while we're inside of it adds to it, or make the circle bigger. I think making the circle bigger will be something to try first, but I mean, it's trial and error, and they know what direction they want their game to go in as well. So if they think that doing it this way will be best for the game, then that's how they will do it. But we can always still suggest things and move on from there. Okay. Don't really want to get hit by anything over here, so just move a little bit slowly. The phoenixes are quite easy to deal with because their only attack is the fire, but we did get hit by the... That's so irritating, but we do have a shield now. There is a skip on boxes now, so it's not really an issue to pick them up. Again, we're not really speed running, so we can pick them up regardless. Luckily, we do have Astrid Shield because we did get hit by an enemy there. Ooh, that's actually very, very good for Skog. So we've got ourselves the Poison Lightning Charm. We are going to be paralyzing enemies now every time they are poisoned, but this will obviously only work once we have more, or once we have ascended Skog to deal poison damage. And there we go, some damage, and then damage and duration with some area is perfect. Duration's going to keep them out longer, so they will be able to poison more enemies once we get the poison ascension on them. And what's really nice about the chili is as well is the fire fields that are left on the floor. It's just extra damage, so you don't have to worry too much about moving around in Ragnarok if you don't want to. But again, you do kind of want all that juicy XP as well as all the gold and things like that. So one reason why you could move around, but you know, you don't really need to. All the XP will come to you anyway, and if you do buy a XP or an attraction ring from the store as well, you could do that or pick one up like I did, so we don't have to move at all now unless gold drops on the floor for us. So that's fantastic. We got another 16 points. Upgrade that, grab the damage over here for the poison, and obviously for those who are trying to speed run, you won't spend so much time in the shop or in the constellation either. You're going to try and do it as quickly as possible to get as far as possible, as quickly as possible. But if speedrunning is something that interests you guys, or if you want to see a video of me trying to speedrun, then let me know down in the comment section. And if you're enjoying this content, make sure you hit that like button. Your support is much appreciated, and we will be able to get this out to more viewers, and more viewers means you know, more videos, because that's how we do this. We need more views and more likes means more views, and vice versa. So, you know, let's see how many likes we can get on this video, and if we do like it, we will, I mean, also if you guys want me to do it speed running, let me know down in the comment section. Alright, so very chaotic character as well. As you can see, it's very difficult to see your screen. It could make it quite difficult to survive as well, which is problematic. So, I mean, when the character first came out, I did make a suggestion saying that we should maybe outline the enemies, but that would, or even make it as a setting so that it can be toggled on and off, or make it so that when there's X amount of our summons on the screen, then it will automatically outline the enemies. But especially when you are playing with Amaranth, it is very difficult to see some of the enemies, and therefore if you don't have like what we've got, Astrid Shield or Ragnar Shield, you will take damage. But I mean, with Amaranth, it's fine to take damage anyway, especially if you do have her bracelet, because it means you're just going to land up getting even more XP. So it's really not the end of the world if you do get hit on her. We do want to grab damage over there, which is fantastic. We can go for cooldown now, and then we can go for our area of effect, and that's our tree done and dusted. We are max level, and we're just going to keep getting more and more levels. So if we do find gold and stuff like that, then that's perfectly fine. But other than that, we aren't too worried now about gathering XP, because we're already full. There's nothing for us to spend it on unless we land up getting Revna from the store, or something like Ace, or what was the other one I mentioned? Glitch. So we could probably find glitch, probably a lot easier than Revna or Ace, but that's alright. Alright, so pop our ulti. I actually forgot that we had it for a second there, I'm not sure why. Okay, doesn't look like we dealt too much damage to him there, unfortunately. Gonna have to take a knock to our shield, that's fine. We do have a lot of movement speed because we do have a lot of hearts. And we can just pop our ultimate again. It should hit him a lot more often now, so deal decent amount of damage to him. Dodge that. Ulti still going off. We can see lots of damage numbers on the boss, but once we start getting poison now from Skog, our damage is going to skyrocket quite a bit. So here's Revna. Again, it is a summon, so we are going to grab it because we're going to have so many skill points available to us that it just makes a lot of sense. There's nothing else for us over here. We can actually just grab the damage. What did it minus from us? We got minus crit, or what is that? Yeah, crit. Or effective probability. One of the two, doesn't really matter. We're going to grab that, go for the poison area, so they are going to poison all damages. They are going to poison all enemies if possible. And now we can look at getting some damage and summons from Revna. Again, it is a summon, so it does get the bonus 50% damage from the summoning stone, which is fantastic. And then we're going to look at going for some damage and summons. We can spend a lot of rerolls. Area and duration is fine as well, so that's perfect. And then that's that. We just gotta now survive until we can get to Ragnarok. And that's gonna be that, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, pretty easy to do a Ragnarok 5 on Amaranth. She is very, very strong. Again, we're not trying to speed run anything. You can see we've already taken 20 minutes to do this. So very, very slow run. But again, not really the end of the world. Actually, that's a very slow run. So I'm not actually sure why we are so slow with her today. I guess we spend so much time in her constellation that we forget about the time. Or we spent a lot of time in the shop as well. So all these things make a big difference. As well, you do collect a lot of XP whenever you get hurt. So that's another thing, but we can just keep going. Let's go see what these other shrines have for us. We don't need the chest. It wasn't from the elites, so it is only a white chest. The nice thing as well though is if you do struggle to kill the elites, as long as you have your level 3 ultimate, every time the elites spawn you just pop it and they will die relatively quickly. So you don't really have to worry too much about being swarmed. The ultimate that you get with her, as well as all the damage it brings, is very, very strong. So grab this RNG tonic. It gave us duration, not the most fantastic thing to grab, unfortunately. But here's more elites, so pop the ulti, all the elites are dead. And very, very difficult again to see what's going on our screen, but that's mostly because of Chili and the leaving fire waves all over the place, as well as the trees, the ivy bushes as well. Okay, just go collect some of the gold. Ouch. Alright, we do have elites around us, but as you can see, we are dealing tons of damage now because of the poison as well. And again, if you don't get the burn or poison relics, which you know you should get because those are the typical relics for her, besides for, you know, getting those random life relics on her for some odd reason. But they are the typical ones, and because of that you can land up grabbing yourself a lot of damage bonuses with it. And if you do get the poison and the burn, then definitely going Chili and Skog is really good. Otherwise, I would suggest going for the Pea Sprout again if you don't get any of the poison relics. Chili would be my definite go-to regardless of how you want to play it, because it is very strong, and whether or not you get the fire relic, the other summons isn't as strong, and it's quite lackluster, especially if you don't have a lot of duration. So when you are, it depends on the summons you're playing, but your skill tree can also affect them very much. If you are playing, let's say, with the lignans, then you don't want a lot of cooldown. You actually want more duration, less cooldown, because with more duration they last longer, so they can pop later on, and then they can also get the enemies to deal damage, where they feel very lackluster now because as soon as they summon they explode, and I believe you're only allowed a certain amount of them on the field at a time, and if you don't, if you go over that limit, they automatically explode. But I could be completely wrong there. This is just from what I've experienced there. So, and because of how green crystal works with cooldown, you don't really want to have to, you know, not have cooldown. So as they are right now, they don't feel very good as a relic on her. But, you know, you don't need it. You can just go Chili, especially for Ragnarok. But if you just want to beat Expert, then you can use any of the relics. Not too much of an issue. I mean, you can use the other ones on Ragnarok as well. They will still explode when close to the enemies and the bosses. So even if you get swarmed, they will be pretty good, especially since they do explode. So dealing area damage, which means that they'll deal damage to everything around you anyway, and that's just going to be fantastic. I didn't even know that we had phased him a second time, but we did, and we did take a little bit of damage there, unfortunately, because we have to keep moving. Use our ultimate, stand still just a little bit to deal more damage to him. Doesn't matter if we take a little bit more damage, and there we go. Done and dusted. So as you can see, Revna, not even ascended, dealing a 3k DPS, which is a lot more than RV did as well, but again, the further the game goes on, the less the DPS number will be, because the others will outshine it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and always remember, keep safe survivors. Until next time, cheers.